I just saw which will be higher, total points scored in the Super Bowl or the Belichick girlfriend age difference, which is 48.
I don't know.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. All right, let's talk some cross sport props. We haven't even done that much this week. I think there are a few different angles that we could address. One that stood out to me, Sam, involves Cooper Flagg. So you've got the big star in college basketball. I saw his name mentioned in a few different cross sport props. The one that I find interesting is his PRA. So Cooper Flagg's points, rebounds, and assists versus Barkley and Hunt combined carries in the game. So Cooper Flagg averages 28 and 4. So we're talking about a PRA on average of 32. It's a wide range. The highest I've seen this year with him is 55, but he's usually mid to high 30s, somewhere around there. He's a minus 160 favorite compared to Barkley and Hunt combined carries. Now, I've talked a lot about the run games from both sides, and now I think they're going to lean into it a little bit in this game. I like the dog in this one. I'd go Barkley and Hunt combined carries over the Flagg PRA. Duke is at Clemson. That's the game this will be used for.
Clemson has a pretty decent defense, but Clemson's also going into Durham to play, so that's always tougher to hold guys down in their own barns. I mean, they tend to play better at home. They just do, especially the younger guys. I don't know. I feel like a lot of these cross-sport props, people do so much studying on stats and trends and box scores, and I view them much differently. I don't even look at, I hate to even admit this, but I look at the prices before I look at the bets. That's where I start. I look at minus 160 and plus 130 or plus 140, whatever the straddle is. What's the take back on the dog here? Plus what?
120.
Oh, God,
never great.
Well, that's even worse.
Yes, these are all terrible. I was
going to ask you where this prop is, but I don't want to bus drag anybody. I mean, I hate that prop. I hate minus 160 and plus 120. That's not fair for the customer, and I think everybody needs to understand that. But more of these props are getting away from the minus 110. And the sports book would never admit this, but the sports book wants you to lay 130, 40, 50, 60 on props. Like that's what they want. And I am always the type of person that will look at the price before I even look at the prop and see what my take back is on the dog. And in this case, if you're telling me it's minus 160 and plus 120, I'm just not betting it. Simple.
Yeah. Well, then you won't bet any of these because, they're taking so much. Like what they're charging you, it's ridiculous. People, I'm glad you're bringing that up though, because people don't look at that at all. They're not realizing, it's not 20 cents. It's a whole lot more than that.
Yeah, there's going to be somebody that bets this prop that looks at Cooper Flagg's last 4 games or 5 games and says he's gotten this or he's gotten X. He's going to do it again. And then Cooper Flagg rolls his ankle in the first half and you're cooked. Like, right. I'm not laying 160 on that prop. So I actually have a bunch at the Westgate in Vegas. And all of these props, Joe, I mean, they've got about 15 of them. Most of them are minus 110 each way.
Okay.
That's what
better.
I'm talking about. So,
because a lot of the
here's
ones
an
that
example.
I've seen, they're ridiculous.
Here's an example of some of these. So Giannis PRA, points, rebounds, assists. So how many points, rebounds, assists will Giannis have against the total points in the game? KC and Philly. That's minus 110 each way.
Minus 110. You know what? At this same book, I saw that exact same price, and they priced it Giannis minus 150, Super Bowl points plus 110.
That's a joke.
It's a joke. It's a joke. And I'm not going to mention them, but it's a sports book that is always looking for free love. That has bothered me in the past. Like, why don't you mention our sports book? Because I don't want to promote this. That's why I don't mention your sports book.
Even the Westgate props, even the props that aren't minus 110 each way, here's another straddle, minus 170 plus 150. Fair. Minus 125 plus 105, also fair. Minus 120, even money. This is how it's done, boys and girls. This is how you offer props, not minus 150 plus 110. Get out of here with that.
And charging fees if you want to deposit. But that's a whole nother story. Yeah.
Here's another one.
There's that.
I like this one. Jack Eichel points or Jalen Hurts touchdown passes. See, this is creative. I love stuff like this because a lot of these prop makers all over the country, what they do is they take the mass and they take all the stats that a player has gotten and they jam it into a computer and they spit out a number and then they move it a little bit. Nobody's spitting out Jack Eichel points or Jalen Hurts touchdown passes. Like, that's creative. That takes some thought. And I do think Vegas is really the only place in the country where you get creative props at good prices. It's the only place left.
Yep. I agree with that. Okay, here's one I saw. I just like the conversation. I don't like the price that was posted, but maybe Jake has a thought on this. So, and maybe they have it there on your Westgate list. Mahomes passing yards against the winning score at the Phoenix Open. So the Mahomes passing yards, that's in the 230s about, and the winning score at the Phoenix Open, in recent years, it's been in the 260s. So obviously that's going to be the favorite. And we were talking about fading Mahomes, like creative ways to fade Mahomes that maybe other people wouldn't do. And you brought up interception. This could be an interesting way because you're saying, well, he's not going to get to 270 or plus for the most part. I mean, that's what you're looking at when you look at previous winners.
Again, creativity. I love it. I did 68 times 4, which is 272. You don't need to check that math either, buddy. 272. I thought like a 68 over 4 straight days would be fair, but you're saying 260? We've seen some 260s? Oof.
Yeah, mid 260s is where they're usually at.
Yeah. Okay. I guess. Oh, that's right. They did. Oh, that's right. Okay. So I was a little bit high on saying 68 would be. Well, you did say best score, not average score. So I guess that makes sense.
Right.
I probably wouldn't bet that one. I don't know. I lean to the golf. I lean to the best score, obviously, because if somebody goes bananas and has all these huge days in Phoenix, then that person's going to win.
I mean, you're usually like 21 under at this tournament.
There's
the finishing score.
Don't tell Ian McMillan, but there's a cross-board prop on hole-in-ones at the Phoenix Open against the shortest touchdown in yards. Massive favorite for the shortest touchdown. So what I find interesting, I bring it up because I looked it up because everybody talks about the 16th hole. That's a party there at the Phoenix Open, and that's the one where people would have chances to get a hole-in-one. In 36 years, guys, there have been 11 hole-in-ones there. I was floored by that. I thought it would happen much more often than that. So you're looking at 1, maybe 2 against the shortest touchdown in yards. I mean, obviously that's the heavy favorite. I like under 1.5, but I was shocked that there have been that few hole-in-ones so far.
I like this one at Westgate. Last hole-in-one? No idea.
A couple years ago? Yeah.
No clue. Couldn't tell you if you paid me. Who will have more on Sunday? Cade Cunningham points, and they play, I believe, the Hornets. So Cade Cunningham points or Patrick Mahomes completions. Minus 110 each way.
That's a good one.
It's a good one.
That's a good one.
Now, that's going to swing on Cade, obviously. If Cade scores 40, I don't think he's going to lose. But if he scores 15, he's probably a dead loser. Because Mahomes is going to complete about anywhere from 24 to 28 passes. That would be my guess. Cade scores 40, he's going to get there.
I saw one. I'm not making a bet on it, but it reminded me of our conversation with Eddie Olczyk yesterday. There's also a prop, Butker kicking points against the winning post at the Derby.
Wow. I love that.
It's super creative. I wouldn't bet it. It is so random because you obviously don't know any horse in the post that they're going to be at. But that would be something cool to have in your pocket to root for or against in the Derby.
I think I take the horse and hope for the guy in the 17th slot to get that horse home.
Yeah. Yeah, the big number there. So, yeah, there are certain ways to go about it. I saw Tatum points in their game on Saturday night. It's the Celtics at the Knicks against Hurts pass attempts. I would go with Tatum. I think that's going to end up being the higher number, and that's the dog in that scenario. So, yeah, different ways to bet it. I'm not big on them, but they're fun to talk about.